This is Broke Money Hustle. And now, here's Broke Money Hustle with Trico and Eric.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Broke Money Hustle, the podcast about buying stocks, investing and buying assets, precious metals. Try to touch on a little bit of crypto once in a while and other stuff about, just having side hustles and trying to make it in this bizarre zombie economy that we live in. Thanks in part to Rona and all of her wonderful lack of benefits. How you doing, Trico?
Doing good. I finally got the silver. I had a silver scare where I ordered up some silver. The order tracking number said it was here Saturday, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. I don't remember silver in the mail Saturday. That's something I would have noticed, And so I messaged the place I bought it from. They're like, oh yeah, sometimes a market is delivered, and it won't be there for a couple more days. And I'm like, well, that defeats the purpose of tracking. So then
would you pay more for to have that privilege of tracking it?
Oh, exactly. So then it was coming through USPS first class. So I keep in mind the mail already came this morning. So on their online thing where you fill out what your complaint is, I filled that out and kind of like, hey, where's my stuff? And miraculously, even though the mail came earlier today, it came in the mail this afternoon when I got back from walking the dog. So
wow.
And it was kind of a scare because sometimes I get my neighbor's mail, the neighbor gets mine. Sometimes I get mail from a couple streets over. So, and at the time I didn't know that the package was really discreet, So I was worried the package was going to say silver, like, hey, your silver's here. Here you go. So I was a little bit worried because if I go knocking on the neighbor's door, it's like, hey, did a package of silver get delivered here accidentally? Well, I'm pretty sure there's a slim chance I'll actually get my silver back. So luckily it came in and I'm happy. I added it to my hoard underneath my mattress and everything's good. And the market's looking pretty good today. I have quite a few things that are green, which is cool. I almost forgot what that color looked like for a while.
Yeah, it's nice. We've had some really good news, especially concerning our president, and he was announced with COVID on Friday. It looks like he's already leaving tonight in good health, and so the markets reacted positively to that, and so everything's up a little bit, except for the movie theater shares, and it looks like retail Armageddon is finally starting to begin. Cineworld, parent company that owns Regal Cinema, it's Cineworld in the UK, Regal Cinema here, is permanently closing its doors. Let's see, and let me share the screen here. Regal Cinema's parent Cineworld to close all theaters in US and UK. I don't think it's permanent. I think they're just, for the most part, I think closing for the rest of the season. But this falls on the back of the heels of the new James Bond film, No Time to Die, getting pushed back again to April 2021. And that's pretty much the big fall blockbuster of the year. There's nothing much going else on in the theaters. Looked like Hocus Pocus beat out Tenet, because theaters are showing older movies now, and Hocus Pocus actually beat out Tenet in some demographics. But the market is just it's fearmongered itself out of business, basically. And how much longer until AMC Theaters closes and Cinemark? AMC just had their credit rating downgraded, and supposedly they're going to run out of liquidity within the next 6 months. I saw in another article today. So it looks as though movie theaters is the first casualty. And this is near and dear to my heart. I know it's near and dear to your. I mean, I love going to the movies.
Yeah.
We dog on Hollywood all the time because they're a bunch of terrible people. But the experience of going to the movies, It's one of those jobs growing up, which I never had, that I always wanted to work in a movie theater. I thought it would have been the coolest thing. Closest I got was a video rental store. Those used to exist too. And maybe the theater is following Blockbuster. What do you think, man?
I don't know. After this week, it's not looking too good. And there's a couple of the people I follow that talk about stocks and everything on YouTube. They kind of mentioned that there's kind of a shift towards streaming. Even before any of this, more people are starting to stream things, and home, like larger television sets and home theaters and everything, are a lot more economically feasible for people to kind of get the same movie theater feel at home. So I don't know. I think when they open, I think a lot of people they're going to miss it, so they're going to go. Like for a while, we were doing drive-in theaters because those are the only thing open right now, and it was so good to see a movie again, So we went to the drive-in theaters for like 3 weeks until there was only 2 or 3 new movies out. So after about 3 weeks, you've exhausted all the new movies.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's really plaguing the theater industry, is like they could be doing pretty good because restaurants are packed again.
Yeah.
I know we were here in Michigan, and we had to have the Supreme Court, our Michigan Supreme Court, come in and tell our dictator of a governor no. And so all of the restrictions have been laxed. Apparently, I've also read somewhere where she's going to use other agencies to enforce her mandates for the next 21 days, because I guess that's the expiration, is the 21-day period. So she could sick the IRS or the OSHA on businesses that aren't following her orders. I mean, America is looking less and less like America, and losing movie theaters, that's that's like one of those things. It's like it hits me in the face, because I grew up really poor, and going to the movies was like going to Disney World for me.
Yeah.
I still hold it in my heart as this magical experience, even though, movie products aren't very, they're big budget action flicks, but come on, we've been sitting through remake after remake, not really original ideas coming out. And streaming platforms is where that stuff is happening. And so there's lots of really good things to watch there, but it's just, it can't be the same. There's the magic is not there in your own home.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. It was kind of like that when I was a kid. We almost never went to the movies. It was like a big thing if you went, and there was something kind of just really magical about it. Like I don't know, it just seemed like kind of like this magical, kind of almost foreign place to go to. Mm-hmm. Especially when I was a kid, we never went anywhere at night. So if we went to a movie at night, it was a huge deal.
Yeah, but I mean, still, the company's got to do what the company's got to do. Cineworld's reporting over 1.6 billion in losses in the first half of 2020. I mean, there's just there's no coming back for them. I own both Cinemark and AMC in my portfolio, and like I said, those are the only 2 things in my Robinhood portfolio that are really red. I mean, I do have that 1 share of Nikola, but I kind of ignore that for the time being. Cinemark, I know for the most part is still open. I think it's a healthier company than AMC. AMC, interestingly enough, 49% of all locations are owned by the Chinese. I did not know that. So that's kind of I don't expect China to bail out AMC theaters, but they may put up their stake for sale. I don't know. I think the brand of theaters, like it's gonna exist in some fashion, but this may be the first real casualty of the coming retail apocalypse. I know you mentioned earlier in the pre-show, Disney had a whole bunch of layoffs too, right?
Yeah, and I can't remember because it was Disney, and then I think it was American Airlines, and I think one of them had 11,000 layoffs, and the other one had like 17 or something. 17,000. But I can't remember which one was which. But it was a sizable amount. It wasn't like you know, it wasn't like a couple hundred. It was, over 10,000. So it's not looking good.
Yeah, Cinemark is down 17%, and they're down because of the Regal announcement. So I think everybody's kind of holding their breath and waiting to see. Cinemark's number 3, AMC's number 1, Regal Cinemas was number 2, and so yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. And if your theater's open, go to the movies. Give these kids that work there one last chance to enjoy their jobs. And I don't know. It's just it just really struck me today. It's something that I'm definitely going to miss if it goes away.
Yeah.
Switching gears, more shenanigans in the market. I want to talk a little bit about something that's called spoofing. And we noticed recently, we've known that there's some level of manipulation in the precious metals going on, because gold should be way higher than it is. Silver should be much, much higher than it is. And it turns out for the past, let's see, according to this New York Post article, JP Morgan is largely to blame for precious metals kind of being undervalued. They are set to pay a $1 billion fine for metals market manipulation. This article comes from the New York Post. JP Morgan reportedly set to pay nearly $1 billion to settle a government probe into allegedly illegal fake trades. According to multiple reports on Wednesday, the $2.9 trillion mega bank is close to paying the fee. I think about $2.9 trillion, $1 billion is pocket change for them.
Yeah.
They're close to paying the fee to end ongoing investigations by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the Justice Department, and the Securities and Exchange Commission into the bank's alleged manipulation of prices of metals and U.S. Treasury bonds. News of the inquiries broke in September 2019 when 3 JP Morgan traders were charged by the DOJ for running an 8-year conspiracy that involved placing thousands of fraudulent orders on precious metals in order to confuse the market and force rival traders to act accordingly. The tactic known as spoofing can be effective and was made illegal after the 2008 crisis. So basically, they set up all of these trades that they have no intention of following through on. Everybody looks and says, oh crap, JP Morgan is shorting silver. We better get rid of it. And then they don't do that. And because the price drops, they swoop in and they buy it all up at a song. So that's pretty much what spoofing is.
Yeah.
The 3 bankers, Michael Novak, who was once head of JP Morgan's Global Precious Metals, Greg Smith, Christopher Jordan, are all facing a federal RICO charge. And if JP Morgan doesn't end up paying the fine, it would be the largest in history for spoofing. Now, keep in mind, $1 billion for them is nothing.
Yeah.
In fact, they've probably made hundreds of billions off of this in the last 8 years. They're just considering it a write-off as the cost of doing illegal business. This is the reality of the world that we live in. When you've got central bankers, insiders, we know politicians that legally insider trade all the time. Bankers doing it too, doing all this other stuff, and they'll get a slap on this is basically a slap on the wrist. And it's sickening. But what are we to do about it? Well, another article that I read that I'm not going to share basically said, buy this dip. So, because again, if you go back to the fundamentals of money that we learned about, especially from people like Mike Maloney in his video series learning about money, gold and silver is actual money, not currency. And all of this manipulation, all these illegal shenanigans, they can't keep going on forever. Eventually, fundamentals of the market, of an economic fundamentals, will take over, and prices will correct themselves as they always have in the past. There's just no telling when that's going to happen. So this is definitely, buy the dip in silver, buy the dip in gold. Glint, there's the in the description. If you're watching on YouTube with us, you can click on that and join up the sign up with Glint, and buy gold in fractional amounts with whatever money you can afford. If you'd like to try it that way. And have some physical silver, hold it in hands, and take advantage of this artificial suppression of prices.
Yeah. I think you sent me over a link about I think it was Turkey. they buy a lot of gold because their currency has like crazy inflation.
Mhm.
So they buy like a ton of gold all the time and hold on to it as a just a way to kind of hedge against the inflation and everything over there. And so it makes sense to me. Plus, it's like I just like looking at the coins too. You know?
Oh, for sure. And there's some nice looking things, nice designs, some antique coins that you can get into.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I recently bought off Amazon some coin holders. They're little plastic circular cases. They come with little foam inserts to fit different sizes of coins. So it's a really nice way of protecting the few coins that I do have. And it's a nice way of holding on to it without smudging it and stuff.
Exactly. You know, I like it. You know, it's something I always know I have that's worth money. You know, that way, if anything happens, I don't have to like do some weird barter system where I'm trading my tools or something, or trading my car for for groceries or something. I have silver there in case I ever need it. So.
Yep, and that's kind of the way I hold on to it too. It's like I'm setting up my own bank.
Yeah.
In other words. So anyway, my Webull portfolio is doing really well. I'm pretty happy about that. That's mostly driven by Square. Square is up to $180 a share right now, and that's been a big boom. How's things looking on your end?
Looking pretty good. The Robinhood portfolio is finally like in the green for I think it was a week or two. It was below what I had invested, which it just really sucks because like you want to make money, you don't want to like lose money at this game, you know. But now it's finally back up above what I put into it, so that's always a good sign. It looks like everything's doing pretty good. A couple of things that are a little bit red, but I'm not seeing like last month I had a stock that was a utility stock too, something that I figured wouldn't go up or down that much, and it was down like $13 last week or the week before.
Mm-hmm.
So that one bounced back. A lot of my other stuff bounced back, and like today, I was looking around. I'm like, all right, what's a good price? And nothing really struck out to me as being a super cheap price. So on the one hand, it's bad because I didn't get to acquire any cool stocks today, but on the other hand, it's good because that means everything's up. so it's
and I'm really proud of Nvidia. Once again, Nvidia is starting to look like it's becoming a supervillain in some aspects because it's getting into lots of different industries. They announced another partnership today, so their stock is up another 4%. Currently trading at where are we at on Nvidia? $544.84. And this is one of the first stocks that I bought when I got into doing this in the early parts of March. So it's been quite the gainer for me. But NVIDIA's GPU Technology Conference takes place this week from October 5th to the 9th. With today being the first day of the conference, the GPU announced multiple new products and partnerships, including a new processor called a DPU and a partnership with GlaxoSmithKline and new AI infrastructure kits. So basically what's going on here is NVIDIA is partnering with GlaxoSmithKline to use its AI technology to help develop new drugs. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Did they say what drugs are going to be trading?
Well, NVIDIA's healthcare vice president, and they have a healthcare vice president apparently, Kimberly Powell, said in a release that the companies will work together to put vast data sources to work to advance the discovery of new medicines and vaccines. NVIDIA announced in a separate release that is working to build in the UK's most powerful supercomputer, which will make available to UK healthcare researchers using AI to solve pressing medical challenges, including those presented by COVID-19. These announcements come after NVIDIA revealed in September it plans to acquire British chip company ARM from SoftBank Group Corporation in the deal valued at $40 billion in cash and stock. And Nvidia shares have gained 129% so far this year with the big moves that they're making. And I still can't get a 3080 or a 3090 card to save my life because I don't have a ShoeBot.
Yeah.
For those of you listening don't know what a ShoeBot is, it's basically a computer program that shops for you, which is one of those reasons why you go to some new thing that's coming out like an Nvidia video card. You get the email saying, hey, it's available for sale today. You click on it, out of stock. That's because they were all bought up by a bunch of do-nothings, no gooders, and they're tripling and quadrupling and 10 timing the amount for getting a guaranteed pre-order off eBay. And it just makes me sick to my stomach. So I'm going to have to wait till it's old hat. And in technology, that's like 2-3 months. So these will probably be common in about 2 or 3 months. And I'll finally be able to upgrade my video card.
Cool.
But people are paying it. They're paying like $30,000 for an Nvidia RTX 3090 on eBay.
Really?
Good grief. Yeah. I looked at these auctions and it's like, they're not buying the actual card. They're buying the pre-order for the card.
so it's not even.
Yeah, the card's not in hand. You actually just have the pre-order. It's guaranteed that you're going to be able to buy one. It's absolutely asinine and ridiculous. And you know what? There's a sucker born in every minute. So if you can find somebody to give you $1 for air, go for it, I guess. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy the fact that my Nvidia stock purchases are continuing to grow nicely, along with Square. Lemonade was a good purchase. Remember telling folks about that a few episodes ago. It's up about $4 or $5 per share that I bought it over. And I also got into Dana, which is another EV play, and I have another one to talk about as well with a new company. But with Dana, they have a connection to EV as well, and it seemed like it was like a $12 stock. I think it's trading about 14 right now. So far so good. I didn't buy a whole lot, just a little bit because I kind of like gravitate to EV. But my last news is about this new company. So imagine you've got people from Tesla, SpaceX engineers, battery maker called Romeo Power is going public, and they are going public via an SPAC, Special Purchase Acquisition Company. They're going to go public via the SPAC RMG Acquisition Group. The deal is to raise $384 million for Romeo Power, including $150 million PIPE anchored by existing investors and new investor Republic Services. The transaction values the company at $1.33 billion. So a brand new EV battery company, basically. Romeo Power's been in there for a while. They're going public. But it points to the fact that we're seeing more and more EV companies. Not all of them can be successful. We look at Nikola having problems right now. Tesla, just did their first stock split. Hasn't quite regained where it should. But the market is maturing as the technology is getting to the fact where it actually can compete with gas now. The prices are coming down. I think Musk was saying you can get a Tesla in 2023. You'll be able to get a $25,000 Tesla. So that puts it in competitive with pretty much all mid-sized sedans, and small cars, around that price point. So it's we're still in the very beginning stages of EV, and so there's going to be lots of ups and downs and hiccups. But this is just another thing pointing to that technology. So if you've got the money, if you want to put something into an investment, look at various EV companies, do your own due diligence. Please don't take my word for it. Don't take Trico's word for it. We're just a couple of regular guys with regular amounts of income, just trying to grow it, put it away, so we're not poor all the time and living paycheck to paycheck. That's what I got for the news.
Cool. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't even feel like regular amounts of income. It feels irregular.
yeah. It's like it's never the same amount, and it's like that's one of the reasons why I got into DoorDash, which is another great little lucrative side hustle you can do. And that's just to pad the income. I know, like, if my art income dries up, I can go out and do 3 or 4 hours a day with DoorDash and pretty much make the same equivalent at, an average in my area is about $20 an hour. So that's really good. And, I don't need benefits or anything like that. My wife carries those for us. So it's good to have that in your pocket. And I would encourage anybody to look into something like that if you're worried about your future and income. Because the way the economy keeps going, it looks like we're going to be stuck with this largely at home. Home delivery is going to be much bigger. The Amazon model, everybody's going to be doing it. You're going to get deliveries. Walmart's getting into it. I was looking forward to the DoorDash IPO later this winter because they're going to be leasing out their technologies to people like Walmart to finish up that last two, the last 2 miles of delivery or whatever it is. It's like using their software in order to get grocery orders from their stores to the home. So I mean that's the way the future is going.
That'll be nice.
Anything on your radar, stock picks wise?
Oh, you ready for some Merry date kills?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, September. It's been a while since we talked about it on the show, but September 25th is a day that'll live in infamy because the unthinkable finally happened. Ticker price GNUS. Yep, I finally sold it.
You finally sold it.
Yeah, I was like, it was up comparable to where it's been. I still took a huge loss on it, but I was finally like, you know what? I'm just gonna sell it. I've given it chances. Arnold couldn't help him. Stanley couldn't help him. Like nothing.
Sonic the Hedgehog couldn't help him. Continue the story from September 2nd.
Yeah. So I finally sold that. So that was my kill.
All right.
2 weeks ago. And then, last couple weeks, things have been pretty much on sale. I was trying to hold off because we're doing a lot of home improvement, so I didn't have the money. And then finally I was like, yeah, I'll just go into the savings a little bit and buy a few things. So one of them I bought was SYY, Cisco.
Ooh, Cisco Systems?
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, Cisco Corp. Yeah. I got that last week. I got it at $60.99. They pay dividends. They're a dividend king. So they've been paying out dividends for like 25 years, or no, dividend king over 40 or 50 years. So it's one of my dividend stocks. So I could kind of check that off of my my board there.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think they were kind of cheap because they supply a lot to restaurants, and restaurants still had a lot of restrictions. So now they'll probably go up as the restrictions get lifted. It's already about $2.50 above what I paid for it. Plus, I think I got in right before the ex-dividend date. So I think I slid in there in time to get the dividend for this quarter.
Nice.
So yeah, that worked out pretty well. Let's see, Realty Income. I finally got some of that. Bought it not last week, week before for $59.66.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that was a steal. I was waiting forever for it to get low, and it finally got low. So I got a share of that. I wish I would have bought like 4 shares of it. And then a lot of the gas companies were going really cheap. Because I think it was California announced that by a certain time they're going to get rid of all their gasoline cars.
Yeah, the state with rolling blackouts
Yeah.
is going to go to all electric vehicles after 2035. Okay.
Yeah. So CVX, I bought a share of that for $70.18. A lot of the oil companies have been down. Oh, it's already about $2.50 above what I paid for it because I bought it for $70.18 on October 1st. So they pay dividends. My Exxon Mobil stock's been really good, paying out dividends and everything.
Nice.
This one's also a dividend aristocrat, so they have a long 25-year history of paying dividends. So I bought that one while it was down. So I don't have any dates, nothing really kind of short term. I'm just happy I finally killed off Genius Brand, so we never have to speak of them ever again on the show.
Until in the future when we check, hey, what's up with Genius Brands? Oh no, $23 a share.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
didn't hold it long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they were waiting on. We're just waiting for TJ to sell his shares.
Exactly.
And then Moon.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah. Other than that, everything's doing well. My dividend investment plan seems to be working because almost every day now I get some notice on Robinhood that I'm getting a dividend reinvestment going on. So that's a good sign that I finally have enough of them and different payout dates and monthly dividends and everything to where I feel like every day I'm getting some money back, so that's always a good feeling.
Awesome. Nice thing. Yeah. I added to my AT&T stock, code T. They've been pretty undervalued because this is one of those, I use AT&T all the time. I pay for their services through the nose. And so I'm just like slowly adding shares every time it's under $30. I just like add some more shares. So it's been kind of undervalued, about 28. It's been at this $28 range for a little while. So pretty much a good time to get into AT&T. They are dividend stocks, so you do get a dividend from them. And
I think they pay a good amount too. Because I think when I got the dividend from them, I was like, really? That's kind of a lot for $30. Yeah.
Yeah, their dividend yield is 7.22.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So it's been it's been nice. It's like and I treat realty income the same. It's one of those. It's like it's under 60, buy a share.
Yeah, especially realty income. Ticker symbol O. They're a monthly dividend stock, so you'll be getting them dividends every month, which is always nice.
Yep, and our acorns has been doing really well. We did get hurt with that initial drop, but it rebounded again. So, here's to you, Vanguard ETFs. They're definitely winners there. So pretty happy about that as well. Other than that, it looks like there's manipulation going on even in the crypto markets because again, like Bitcoin couldn't break 12,000, and it kind of crashed, had a little mini crash, went back down into the tens. I'm not even sure where it's at right now off the top of my head. I haven't looked at it in a while because it's one of those things. It's just like I'm kind of stick it in my pocket and we'll just let it kind of go and see what happens. But yeah, do a quick check here. Scrolling through different things. Yeah, it's still kind of hanging around at 10,750 for Bitcoin. XRP is another thing that I hold a lot on, and that's one of those things that they make software for banks to communicate to each other. Basically, I got in at like 22 cents. It's at 25, so moderate gains. Bitcoin's still up from when I bought into it, so that's good. But it couldn't break 12, and kind of receded back again, and that's kind of the way things go. Only other things is I'm rooting for Apple. Apple's $2 away from being at what I purchased it at when I got the split. I bought one share, it split $118 a share. It's at $116 now, so I think it's on the rebound. And there's a few other things that I'm watching as well. One company that I've been kind of wanting to get into, but I'm waiting for a larger dip on it, is Hasbro. HAS. It's currently at 83. This is one I'm surprised you're not looking at too, because it's also a dividend stock.
Yeah, especially as a kid, I had pretty much every toy they ever made.
I wish I would have bought Hasbro back when it was like $67 a share earlier on in the year, but I was just like waiting to see kind of where it goes. And now it's a little bit, it's higher than I think that I want to pay. So it's on my watch list of something that I'm looking for if there's another drop and it gets down below 80. then I'm looking at earning some of that. Dividend yield is 3.28, so it's not terrible. And they're pretty much the only game in town as far as toys. Mattel is at $11 a share. They don't, they've tried with the Masters of the Universe, putting those classic plays out in stores. Can never find anything. It's one of those things. It's like the two worst things in the Metro Detroit area are Walmarts and McDonald's.
Yeah.
You go to McDonald's, it's filthy most of the time. Service is lousy. You go to Walmart, shelves are empty. They don't stock. If you're looking for toys, good luck. It's a ghost town there.
Yeah.
It's just like those two companies are some of the worst ones run in this area for some reason. And it's not the company, because you go to one in another state or even another city, like in maybe Grand Rapids area, it'd be a nice store. But around here, no.
Yeah. Especially the McDonald's around here. I went to the one kind of between where you live and where I live, and the line was like crazy. Like the drive-through line was insane, and we're all sitting there forever, and people started leaving, and come to find out, all the employees there just walked, like they just left.
Wow.
So, and the other one, the one kind of closer to where I live, every time I go there, something's always wrong. Yeah, I never know what it's going to be. But it's always either we didn't get fries with one of the meals, or one time I got like when the spicy chicken nuggets came out, I got a 10-piece spicy nugget instead of a Big Mac meal. So I'm not sure how they confuse those two. But,
yeah, I know. I did a DoorDash and I went in, and then they didn't have any drinks. Like all the drinks were gone. The machine for the smoothie or whatever was broken, and the DoorDash customer just wanted their food, and all they were getting was like nuggets and fries, but they didn't care. So I put a little message on the thing, and I think I already told this story once before, but it's just irritating. It's like, it's not everybody has work ethic, I guess. And if I owned stores, if I was an owner of a McDonald's chains, I would be there unannounced all the time to make sure that things were going and running right.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to do it when I was a store manager for O'Reilly. We'd go to dinner. There was some restaurants near the store, so I'd go to dinner and I'd kind of watch the store, because I didn't have a life anyways. And I'd kind of watch that they'd be outside. Like let's just say it was ran a lot differently when I wasn't there than when I was there.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, sadly. Yeah. Anyway, other than that, do you have any other things you're looking out for?
Looking into I fell down this rabbit hole on YouTube. I don't even know how. I think YouTube just figures me out, and they're like, this guy likes side hustles, eh?
It's all the algorithms.
Yeah. So I fell down this rabbit hole about notaries.
Really?
And becoming like a signing agent, basically like a notary that does signings for houses and refinances and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking in, because every state's different. The rules are different in each one. Michigan, where we're at, it seems like the startup cost the startup cost is really low. There's a few extra, kind of office things you have to buy if you want to be a signing agent, because you're going to need a printer that can do legal size paper as well as regular size paper. Mm-hmm. But nothing crazy where you're putting in, $1,000 into it. But so I'm kind of looking into that. So I'll let everyone know how that goes. Because the startup cost for just a regular notary, it's low enough to where I'm like, even if it doesn't take off right away, it still would probably be worth getting into, So that's something I'm checking into. So I'll let everyone know once it happens, and I get my first notary gig.
Wow, sounds cool. So you get the fancy pliers, so you can make a notarized seal on documents and stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna go notary happy. I'll start notarizing everything of mine.
Who notarized the dog?
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, awesome. Anything you can do to earn a buck that's legal, go for it. I'm still working on the Kindle Direct Publishing. It's just one of those things. It's kind of like I got multiple plates that I spin throughout the day, and I'll hope if I can get it to it. It's because it's all blank pages for sketchbooks, notebooks, journals. But I want to design really engaging covers. So I put a lot more thought into it than I probably need to. Certainly putting more thought into it than the ebook that showed me how to do it did, where they're just basically like grabbing free content from the internet free and kind of just making something up. It's, I'm a designer. I want it to look cool. I want it to be engaging. So I'm putting a little bit more thought into it than I probably should. But, that's another interesting way to get passive income started. And yeah, so thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been Broke Money Hustle. Remember, we are not financial advisors. Please seek the help of a professional financial advisor. Look into some of the things we offer. If you want to sign up for Webull, you get 2 free stocks. The second stock after you deposit $100, and those are completely free. One of mine that I got was Regions Financial, and it's been a winner. It's been a constant little bit of growth here and there. Robinhood will give you 1 free stock. That's how I got Plug Power, and I got that one for free for $4, and it's currently at like $12 a share. So there's some free money there. And if you want to sign up for Acorns, please do. It's a great way to save money without having to put a lot of thought into it. And you can check out the link in the description for that. And we hope you'll join us listening in again on the next episode of Broke Money Hustle.
This is Broke Money Hustle.